And I just thought I would do a little Vineyard live here. We don't just work on bikes here on Dewey's Garage. I'm a little raspy. I've been having a really busy last week and a half or so, or month and a half. But I'm going through the vineyard and I'm getting some samples. You can see some green ones are getting in there. And we're over here. Let's see if I can turn this around. Here we go. And we got our grapes. These are Chamberson grapes. And if you know it's an old video, the lady stomping her in on the stage, and she falls on the floor and says, ooh, 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 oh stop, ooh. From the newscast. This is the kind of grapes that she was stomping on the stage. And what I'm doing, and I'm trying to go through and get an average on this paddock. This one is what I'm naming West 2. These have had a rough life. These were the initial Chamberson that I planted out here, and they did really well. But sometime thereafterwards, so there's high. They started using dicamba-ready soybeans. And that material, the dicamba, really affects the growth habit of these, and these got a whiff of it. Now, what I mean by drift, is that it's not like someone over here in this field drifted on it physically, like the wind was blowing out of the west. Oh, you can't see. It's not like that. This is material that was sprayed, way to the south or something like that. And it was on a sunshiny day. The wind was blowing a little bit out of the south. It didn't have to be a lot. And what happens is that material that they're spraying on those soybeans, it doesn't physically make it over here. It could be miles away. But let's just say if I was trying to kill this plant, which I'd never do that, I'd spray on this plant and it would get water droplets and wet. And there'd be material on that leaf. Okay? And here in the sun's shining on it, that water that's in it, that it's a solution of, it dries on that surface. And any of the weeds that they're trying to kill. See, I've got some weeds down here because I can't spray the weeds within 30 days of the harvest. But that's beside the point. So it gets on the leaf, it gets on that area, and then the sun shines on it. All the material that's in solution is where it's supposed to be. It's working. But what happens is it gets really hot. The sun over here causes that solid that's in that solution to, let's go back to science class, sublimate. It doesn't go, like ice is a solid and it goes to a liquid, and if it evaporates, it's a gas. It's a full cycle. This goes from solid to a gas. So a lot of these things are nitrogen compounds, so it kind of lofts up into the air, into the atmosphere, and absorbs a little bit of moisture after it gets blown over a long distance, and then it comes down, and I end up with a messed up plant like this one, where it got exposed to it, and you see how this is dead. Somehow I've able to somewhat revitalize this vine. I got some fresh growth on it, but these materials are systemic. So I'm trying to revitalize this. Sorry, I don't have enough hands sorry about the sound there. So high. I'm just trying to get these samples if you're just joining. I'm going through the vineyard here and I'm getting some samples because I want to see what our average is of all these grapes out here, so that I know when it's roughly time to harvest. So I thought I would take you along with me. So I'm going to get one down here that's exposed. Well, hello, Nurzit. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we're just picking grapes here in Kansas. I'm not really picking them, I'm getting a sample. And I'm just kind of going high, middle, low. And I'm not just getting on the really low exposed ones. I'm trying to go on the high ones, so we get as much of an average as we can. I'm doing, so I got high, so I'm gonna go middle, and I'm really random about this. I'm gonna get low on this one here. And if you're wondering, this is my bird netting, which doesn't look like typical bird netting. What's going on? Que tal, right? All right, well, my Spanish is awful, my friend, so I hope that you can understand me. I'm getting samples. Guma. I'm getting samples so I know when to pick them. So I will smash this juice and I will analyze mainly the acid. I'll check the acidity and the amount of sugar that is in them, and also look at the color. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. And so this is in a terrible place. Macold Hernandez. Well, thank you for joining there, Macold. Sorry if I butchered your name, and I hope you understand my English. You know, I love people from all over the world and in our country that speak differently, and if you can translate, you're welcome to translate and ask questions. Follow me on Instagram also, same handle, Dewey's Garage, and I can answer a personal message if you don't have time to translate. But that's what we're doing. I know you guys see me on, you know, working on motorcycles and riding motorcycles on this channel, but this is my real job. This is a bad place to try to grow grapes because you might notice that it's flat, and I had to walk over this empty area here because it's a low. It's down low, and water gathers and drains into there. And so obviously grapes don't like to have their roots wet all the time. So high. Sorry about the camera work here. No. I'm gonna go to a low one over here. But this netting here, is hay bale wrapped. It's what holds hay bales together, and it's a cheap material that you only have to use once. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm not just putting the ripe ones in here. I'm putting some of these not as ripe ones, because if you'd get these samples with your eyes, well, you'll get just the ripe ones for your sample. So you've got to intentionally put in some of the ones that are underripe and really not even look at what you're getting. So thanks for joining us. Please interact with the chat. Come in and ask some questions. Yeah, here's our bag so far. You can see. Oh. You can see our grapes are kind of varied in their appearance. I almost got enough for a sample. And this is not my best sample. You can see, look, there's some of them that are kind of a lighter color. Some of them are darker. And this is on the same plant. I'm going to intentionally put one of these lighter ones because everything comes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to chew on one. That's tasty. Miss Lucinda Fur. Hello. Okay, try to get this thing to focus. This is a seed, and you can see that seed is brown except for the tip here. Okay, and when these are absolutely done for, when they're going to really start falling off, I wish we had tasty YouTube live so you can taste this, because it's fantastic. But when that seed is fully brown all the way through, and that tip isn't that lighter tan color or even a little bit green to it, there's no more to gain on these. Oh, that's tasty. That's a tasty little treat. You might notice that these grapes look a little larger. These are Chambourcin, spelled with a C, Chambourcin, Chambourcin, and they are noted back to, I think it's the 1850s, by the father of French-American hybrids, Joseph Séville. And when you have grapes, you don't plant the seeds of these, because you don't know what's going to come up from them, because that's a hybrid of a hybrid. Okay? It could come up as a green grape. The way you get more of the kind of grape that you like is you use cuttings and you force root on them. If you're watching today and you have some questions, even if your English isn't that great, I understand. But try to go ahead and interact with the chat. I've had some people say hi, and I appreciate you. All right, real quick, I've got to find a way to finagle this. I've got to mark my list here. So I'm doing West 2, which is what I just got done doing, which is this area, these 3 rows. We picked these last week, this 1 row here. This one is going to be, of these 4, will be our West 1 paddock. Okay. And these are a different age of vines. So if you're new here, make sure and like and subscribe. I want you to understand that this is primarily a motorcycle channel. Okay. So I got to make sure and get some of these. So I'm getting the low, and this is an average that I'm trying to get. But I do throw some grape stuff in here. You might have seen that I do some pruner reviews and some different things like that. So that's one of the things that we're doing. Again, you can see my bag here. I mowed yesterday because I didn't want to wade in the grass here. My tractor had broken, and so thankfully I have another tractor that has an implement, a finish mower, that came with a tractor that we bought for here. Another one that's mainly my spray tractor. And I have a tractor that I run for it to mow at my mom's house. So I thank you all for watching. I'm just going to kind of go through here and show you the vineyard. And again, there's not everything. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. We got all these grapes. Look at those big. That's a big, beautiful bunch of grapes there. Kind of like the big, beautiful bill that got passed here in good old USA. And we are in south central Kansas. So again, I'm holding the bag and I'm holding my phone, which is what I'm using to stream with here. So bear with me here. So we're on the middle here. Please take some time, if you're not already, to subscribe to my channel, especially if you're a motorcycle person. This is this is always a crazy time of the year. It's a lot of things that needs to be done all at the same time. Okay, so I'm grabbing the middle, and remember, you see, this is on a lower. There's 1, 2, and this is the third bunch. And not always do I leave that on those. I usually leave 2 bunches on one stem, but I've got 4 freaking acres of grapes to maintain by myself. So you don't get them all. So you always end up with some grapes that aren't as ripe as the other ones, and there's some of them that are overripe. And so this is the objective here. This is the objective here, to go in and get samples this morning and try to see where we're at. What paddock needs to be harvested when. And this gives me a tool, and I call it like a crystal ball. Sorry about that. Look at those. And this is hay bale wrap that I used a little stick, or not a stick, it's some pipe on my tractor, and I just unspooled it across the top here. I unspooled it across the top, and I had people come along, our helpers, and we pulled it down and clipped it together. And mainly this area here around the wire is going to be the fruit zone if I've done my job correctly and we've pruned correctly. That's my bird squawker, if you're hearing that, to help kind of, if birds are left to their own devices, they will work and they will get in to the vines. Yeah, I didn't get to choose where this vineyard was. This is a low point through the vineyard, and I'm able to, since there's no vines going through here, shape it and at least get it to drain for the most part. And these are some recycled telephone poles that I got for free 99. That's the best price. And instead of them go to waste, I used them. And they're just so stout. These posts, these end posts, this is in the ground, I would say just almost right at 4 feet. So this thing, you can almost, that's not going anywhere. And I bet it'll be there and be in good shape as long as I need it to be. Maybe longer than whoever's after me needs it to be. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Someone's trying to call me, but I don't recognize the number. So I'm not going to answer. I'm picking grapes. And if you're in the chat right now and I'm not responding to it, it's because it broke. Sometimes it does that to me. I don't know why, but sometimes the chat broke. So if one of the people, if you just say something real quick, if you text me You know, just say my name on there in the chat. Just say, Dewey, what are you doing, or something like that. Pardon me, real quick. I'd appreciate it, just so we can test the chat. Because if I don't respond to it and say, oh, there's the chat, it's not broken, then you know that it's broken. I don't know why it doesn't like me like that. Sometimes it does it. So this is what it is. And you might notice all this dander. You might notice this dander. And if you didn't have time to watch this whole video, if you're just kind of doing some different things, make sure and come back, please. Come back and check it out, and I'll talk about as much as I possibly can, because that's what I want to try to do, is saturate this form. But this dander on the floor, these dead leaves and stuff, to get the final preparation for putting this netting on, I do what's called canopy management. And I remove some excess material from these, one, to kind of make the grapes more accessible for people to pick, and position the shoots so that the netting can go on it, and also ensure that the right amount of sunlight exposure to help these things finish the sprint to ripeness. I'm still not seeing anybody asking me what I'm doing, so I'm a little concerned that the chat may be broken. So I apologize for that and the lack of interaction. But feel free and follow me at Dewey's Garage on Instagram if you have a serious question that's not getting through. And send me a DM. But follow me first, because you know how it goes with that. You know, if I don't have a request, or you're not following me, I'm like, oh, okay, there's some spam. I get a lot of messages from our friends in the DRZ 400 Suzuki motorcycle. It's a little dual sport, but with 17-inch wheels. Got a lot of questions from those folks. Okay, we got a pretty good sample here, and this is our West 1 paddock. So we're going to go to East 2 paddock. Let's see here. Oh, hello. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not getting anything in the chat, so all I have to say is thanks YouTube for breaking the chat every single time. But I'm trying to interact with really good people. And you guys are good people. And gals. I likes it when the women's is in here. So these are 2 rows in which we picked. Okay. And then I have these 7 rows here. And these are the youngest vines I have out here, and they're probably some of the best ones. And yeah, this is slowing me down just a little bit doing this. Oh wow, we got a broken portion here. I guess the birds can get in there if they wanted to. I gotta make sure and label this real quick. Hopefully the wind will play nice. So that's where we're at. If you're just joining us, the chat's not playing nice with us, so I'm not getting anything from people. So if you have any questions, make sure and send me a direct message on Instagram if you have that, or you're resourceful enough, you can find my contact information in my bio. I'm hoping that we get some dragonflies in this video. It's rather cool, and they're a rather large insect. But I do see some flying around. Larger insects, they need to warm up before they can really move because they're cold-blooded. And no, I wasn't talking about the women's. Oh, come on, that's funny. But yeah, we're going through here getting our sample. Can you guys hear that? It's a cicada. Hopefully I can get close enough and I can spot it. Oh, there. No, that's not it. I'm trying to find it so you guys can see it. It's obviously spotted me since it quieted up. I've seen a praying mantis get a hold of one of those, and I just sit there and watch it eat it for a while. That was a big sucker. Yeah, apparently it must have spotted me, so we're not going to be able to see it. And my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and when they were good as they were at their best, they weren't that good then, so we'll let that one go by the wayside. Yep, chat still broke, so I'm not seeing anything. Apologize, friends, if you're not getting through. If you're one of my friends, you're welcome to messenger me a screenshot on my Facebook. I don't like advertising my Facebook. If you do have an important question or something that you want to get through, you're also welcome to put it on the comments after this video stops being live. You can do that. You're welcome to. And I encourage you to. Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. So yeah, to recap, in case anybody's joining us, these are Chamberson. These are French-American hybrid grapes. And I'm getting some samples so I can do some analysis. So I can do some analysis of these grapes, so we can kind of try to figure out when is the best time to pick them. I'm thinking we're at least a week out on all of these, maybe 2. Oh, there goes a cicada right there. Did you make it out, little guy? It just wants to get away. It doesn't want to get eaten. The birds get after them. There also are some cicada killer wasp-looking creatures out here that will actually sting those, and they'll be prepared for it. They'll sting them, they'll lay their eggs in them, and they'll pull them into a hole somewhere on the vineyard floor, and the eggs will hatch eventually, and the still paralyzed cicada will be food for the larva to grow. Rather morbid, but that's the circle of the vineyard life. So I'm going to make sure and intentionally get a couple of these underripe suckers in here, because that's very important, because we're also looking at what the acid is doing. We have a bandage on the vineyard floor. That must have got blown by the wind. Somebody must have got it. We get some unexperienced people out here picking. Sometimes there's some victims. It's the way of the road, boys. Yeah, I know this is kind of a long live, and I tend to do that, but I'm trying to saturate the content of this, and I wanted to take you through the whole process here. We just got one more paddock to do. This one I'm going to call East 1. And this is a bigger paddock here. This is the largest concentration of grapes which we're gonna have to pick. So I'm going to get a little bit more thorough of a sample here. Okay. So definitely, I've got some red ones here. I'll go back and get a shot here so you can see. Again, our chat is broken. If you can't see, if you know I'm not responding to it, I'm not being rude. It's just I don't know what I've done, but they like to break my chat. Thanks for watching, everybody that's in here. Always like to see the people that are interacting with what it is that I'm doing. Get a chance to subscribe and like the video a little bit if you like it. And if you don't, well, I understand. This isn't for everybody. Mostly what I do here is motorcycle content, but that's not my real job. I think if I did do just that or working on them, I probably would be insane. Because it would ruin my hobby, I think. So this is the turnpike over here that we're looking at. It's an elevated area. See a lot of different things go along that highway. Okay. I'm not going to show you the analysis of this because it's just a little bit of wet chemistry. It's not too complicated. Basically, you can use the same thing. Oh, there's one of our friends. Do you see it? I'm going to put this sample under my arm and see if I can free the dragonfly. No, I got to hang on to it. These things eat a lot of mosquitoes. Ooh. I don't think it can bite me. But I don't want it to have the chance. Oh, I'm sorry, friends. There's a lot going on here. There you go, friend. Woo! I freed the dragonfly. Now go eat some mosquitoes. I know I didn't get good footage of that, but we just did our first dragonfly save of the day. What we're protecting ourselves from with this netting is birds, primarily European starlings. Obviously they don't have many, if any at all. I mean, well, they do have some, but predators like the Cooper's hawk around here, and you might have heard that hawk type sound from my squawker. The idea is to have a sound of a bird that you're trying to scare off in distress, and also have some predator calls of the birds that they know, or the birds of prey that they know will try to capture them and eat them. And I did this before. I'm going to do it again. Took a bite of this grape. Oh, that's tasty. A little sharp. What we're doing, this is the seed from the grape. Much like an engine spark plug, the seed can tell you a lot about where grape is and its maturity. Come on, phone, I know you're getting tired. And these are pretty mature, or that one that I picked, because it gets kind of a darker and darker, come on, color on the seed. And the last part to get darker is very at the tip where it's sharpest. And that's an indicator of maturity. So if it was like all of it was a light tan color, we would know that these weren't very close, but they are. They're very close. And let's see. It's going to be sour face. Ah! Couldn't stand it. I do it anyway. Mmm. Let's see if we can get where the light's good. That one's a little lighter in color. It's a science, and it's also a little bit of art. That one was, well, comparable to like a Granny Smith apple. For our pHs down there. Oh. Hopefully I can get a picture of it. I think we had a leopard frog. Did it go ahead and run away? Where did you? Oh, there they are. There's. Wow. I hope you saw it. Hope it's showing up. Can I zoom this? I can. Now I just have to find it. There it is. Do you see it? Oh. Sorry, friends. That's a leopard frog. See it in the center? As a member of the Vineyard bug control team. There's a tremendous amount of them this year. Again, if you're trying to get my attention in the chat, it appears that it's broken. We got one more paddock to do. Okay? So I'm going to take you through the rest of that. So these are grapes that we already picked. These are all picked, these rows. So we're on our east one. And I'm going to go ahead and write this down, because if you don't write it down, then just bear with me here. Good grief. My one-handed skills are not great, so I apologize. If you're just joining, I want to say thank you for your interest. I'm getting some samples of some grapes. My chat's broken. Unless someone does join the chat and is able to get through, I don't think that's the case. A lot of people are at work like what I am. This is my job. I'm getting a low and a middle grape sample from this one, and then I'm going to this side. I'm going to go up and down these short rows and get a sample for this section and go inside. There's a lot of semi-traffic. I apologize for the background noise. We're not mic'd up or anything. There went a cicada. That's what we're doing. These are Chambourcin grapes. Chambourcin, Chambourcin. And yeah, we're talking about Joseph Sauvy earlier. Messing with the cicadas. Joseph Sauvy is a Frenchman who came to the Midwest and realized that the French grapes that he brought with him, the vines that he brought with him, were growing for crap. They weren't getting it done. They weren't surviving the climate. But he was something of a viticulturist of his time, and so he started cross-pollinating the grapes that he did have that were surviving for the time being with the American grapes that were local. Very different. Something, like the Niagara and the Concord that we know of today were very similar to those. Look, there's my pile of pressings. Those are grapes that we picked and processed last week. And so we cross-pollinated them, grew them, and studied what kind of fruit that they produced along with their growth habit. We've got a noisy one, don't we? And this was one of the results that he had. And you can't plant the seeds of these grapes once these are the ones in which I like. Okay, these are the grapes that I like. You just go, I'm going to plant these seeds. It doesn't work like that, because who knows what it'll come up. The only way that you can propagate one once you find them is to take wood cuttings and force roots on them. And what that does is basically clone that plant. So you have a plant that has that growth habit and the kind of fruit. And so that's what they did, is they found these and found that they worked rather well, and they liked the fruit in which it produced, and they made a lot of it. These also got a whiff of some herbicide. If you're still sticking with me from earlier, I want to say thanks for watching, anybody that has stuck with me here and those that have joined us here. And we're getting samples. Here's our grapes. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to determine what time it is that we're going to harvest these. I've sampled 3 other paddocks, and this is our 4th and final one of the day. And I'm going to analyze that and see, all right, which ones could I pick together if I could pick them together? Which ones can I not? And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to get that data and try to look into the crystal ball and say, okay, we're going to pick these. Oh, we're in deep doo-doo. We need to pick these this week, or it's looking like next week early or next week late, or these might. But we're going to just have to resample them here in a few days and see what way they're trending. And that's kind of the story of it. So we've been going for almost 45 minutes. See, look at it. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, you can't see them now. The birds, those bastards. Those are what this netting is doing its best to keep out. But those are migratory birds, and those are European starlings. And I don't mind them existing, but they can exist somewhere else. So that's one of the things that we do, is we try to exclude them best we can. But we use this hay bale wrap to use as a barrier. And it seems to work good enough for us now. If I had a lot of trees around and a lot of local population, those birds would whittle down these end pieces, and they'd get in and they'd start devouring everything. But that's the end of this live today. I want to say thank you to the people that watch, and I apologize for the broken chat. And we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, folks. And remember, I love you.